All right. The man, the legend, hitting the big screen since 1948 with superb performances in every imaginable role. He appears in more than 100 films and decades of frequent television appearances, having received several awards in such as Sony's Ericsson Empire Lifetime Achievement Award, along with a star on Hollywood Walk of Fame. Soon appearing at the Chiller Theater, April 17th through the 19th, the one, the only, and the amazing Tony Curtis. Whoa, what a pleasure to have you on the air, Tony.
What an introduction.
Thank you. Well, what a wonderful lifetime of watching you and growing up with you.
Thanks a lot. Really nice of you. I appreciate all of that.
Well, Tony, this is Joe Cook from the Pepper Paul Show, and we're all looking forward to your appearance coming up at the Chiller Theater. Is this your first time at the Chiller Theater convention?
I think so, yes. I don't remember doing it before, but I'm looking forward to it. I understand it's a very happy environment.
Well, it's a bit of a horror movie convention for anybody who doesn't know, and you certainly are no stranger to horror movies, probably most notably being the Boston Strangler.
Wow.
So can you tell us a little bit about maybe some of your favorite experiences doing movies of the horror genre?
Well, let's see, I did one called, what was it called? The Manitou.
Oh, yeah. What a great film.
I did The Manitou and have had skeletons flying through the air. It was a wonderful movie. It was about an Indian ghost, an Indian cosmos that came and inhabited people. And they were very vicious. If a person was in a hospital, they would make everything around the room disappear. And there you were, stuck in the heavens with nothing to do but get those shots.
Oh, man. That
sounds like a great time.
But it wasn't bad. I just wanted to keep doing those kind of movies, doing moments like that. In fact, I did one about the vampires. I don't remember the title, but something about the vampires, and that was a lot of fun to do.
Well, you did in the early '60s. You did what? It's something of commonplace now, but at the time was a pretty rare occurrence. You made a cameo appearance as yourself on a cartoon show.
Yes.
Yeah, you were. Well, I think everybody in the audience should remember Stony Curtis on the Flintstones, right?
Yes, I loved it. It was very amusing. It was such a unique and interesting one, and I loved it.
Oh, that
Stony Curtis. And I only got the job because Stony and Tony rhyme.
That is neat, I'll tell you. Hey,
if my name would have been Philip, there's nothing you could have done.
That's right. We couldn't have had.
And then none of our childhoods would have been the same.
Right.
No doubt. You and Joe started a nonprofit organization about the Shiloh Horse Rescue Sanctuary. You want to tell us about that a little bit?
Yes, we're saving horses' lives from being slaughtered for beef, and that beef is sent to certain countries. Instead of these animals that were responsible for making America the country it is in the 1700s, is now being emaciated and destroyed. So that's what we're doing.
Wow, that is such a stand-up routine that that you two really took on a big project, and it's going very well.
Yes, we want to just make everybody aware of it.
Is there anything anybody can do to help out with what you're...
Well, it's a donation environment, which is tax deductible, and that's the only way we can help. You can help us. If somebody sends in a few dollars each time they can, it would be great help.
Okay, and if anybody is interested, they can go to the website at www.shilohhorserescue.com.
I've never been able to remember that because I don't know how many W's are in it.
I think just 3.
Yes, that. If you say any more, you'll be horsing around.
Exactly. We're horsing around.
You got that right. Hi, Tony. It's Norm from the Pepper Paul Show. It's a pleasure
Hi,
to talk
Norm,
to you.
a pleasure.
Hi. You've done over 100 movies. What are some of the
More
ones?
than 100. I did about 140 movies.
Yes. What are some of the ones that are some of your favorites, or what are some of the ones that stand out?
Well, Some Like It Hot.
Yeah, that's one of our favorites.
Spartacus. The Great Race. Kings Go Forth. Houdini.
Wow.
Awesome.
All legendary, just tremendous films.
Yeah, all of them. I'm really happy with all of them. Even the ones that didn't make it as what they thought was a interesting film. As far as I was concerned, that wasn't so. These movies were made for a reason. Do you know what that reason was? To entertain.
That's correct.
Amen.
Well, that's what that was. I learned that from the time I got into movies. They wanted to be entertained, kept amused or frightened or loved by these movies from their normal lives that were being kicked around. And that's what these movies were. Even the little cheapies, the Raw Ideas, which was a cowboy movie I made. All of those pictures had a sense of giving to you guys and the rest of the people that saw them a few moments of calmness where they could sit and watch that movie and not feel intimidated by an ex-wife, intimidated by bosses and people like that.
And speaking of movies and casts and making them disappear and reappear.
Houdini.
Yes. Who were some of the people that you've worked with during your career that that you had a pleasure working with, that are your most favorite?
Cary Grant.
All right.
Boy, you didn't even have to flinch.
Operation Petticoat.
Great movie,
Absolutely.
too.
Oh, I love that movie. I didn't mention it in my group, but that was one of the best movies I ever made.
So
I loved it. A great comedy, had all that good stuff in it.
Could you tell us a little bit about him? What kind of guy he was?
He was the most charming and dedicated fellow I ever met in the movies. He'd spent his life in films, and there he was, still giving of himself, of making movies. And I was honored that he chose that time to make that film with me.
Wow, that's awesome.
And we became great friends. And here I am as a kid, going to the movies and watching these guys in New York and the Bronx, and watching him and say, boy, is he, how do I become that? And wanting to be in the movies because of seeing Cary Grant. And guys, the next thing I know, I'm in a movie with Cary Grant.
Wow.
That's something else. I'll tell you. Now, you just recently released a new book. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the book is called The American Memoirs. It's The American Memoirs. And it's of my life, only certain, not highlights, but certain sections of it are more attentive than the ones that didn't get some of the attention. And I decided I was ready for the memoirs, and so I did it. I had a wonderful time doing it, remembering all those experiences I had. And I'm thankful that I've got it on paper.
That's right, and that'll live on just like everything else, and including now your biggest fame now that you have a love for all your life was painting.
I'm a painter. I spend a lot of time painting. I've got a beautiful little studio that takes care of me. When I go inside that studio and the door closes, I can feel I'm embraced by all the colors that are there in tubes, canvases, objects, phone. All of these things embrace me and won't let me get hurt. And then I start to paint.
Awesome.
And the paintings I do are just a mixture of everything except they're done by me. They're moments of freedom. They're moments of joy, moments of sex, moments of all of that stuff. And I love the sexy ones more than any.
And is there any other paintings, or is there anything that you have in your mind that you haven't painted yet that you would love to sit down there and paint? Or
well, I'd like to do landscapes. I'm planning to go out and do landscapes. I want to do the cat. I want to do portraits and paintings of cats. They are so reliable and they're so beautiful in their living experience. I'd like to paint stuff on the water. You know, everything attracts me to all of these painting experiences. So I'll always be a painter.
Well, you continue it because your legacy has lived on in our lives since the time we grew up.
And it's really, if anybody gets a chance to go online and take a look at it, it's some really beautiful artwork.
You know, guys, I appreciate what you just said. You know, I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm 83. And I've had the most glorious, interesting life. And to think that you guys, I feel you're younger than that, and to think that you still have a good chunk of time to go through makes me feel good. And think that you consider me one of your, perhaps, people that you admire. That makes me feel good. So you see, this period of time is the happy, good period.
It is for all of us, and like I said, you helped us get through our life through your movies and your films and your humor and your paintings.
And that's what friends are for, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Even if we just hear our voice, even if we see each other in a photograph, even if we hear each other in music, that's picking up our spirits. That's making us feel good. That person we've never met has written something that makes us feel good. So, you know, I reach out to you guys, and you guys reach out to me, and that's the way we continue our lives, always interested, stimulated into something else.
Wow.
Well, Tony, we couldn't appreciate you coming on the show with us anymore. We just want to thank you so much. We want to encourage anybody who's listening to come up to the Chiller Theater Convention and just to have a great opportunity to come out and meet you. We're going to be there, and we look forward to meeting you, Tony.
Okay, well, then I'll see all you guys.
Hey, can we ask you for a real quick favor before you go? Could you do a promo for us?
Certainly. Hi, I'm Tony Curtis, and I'm listening to Cruising 92.1 WVLT.
That is great. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Tony, so much. It's been such a pleasure, and it's going to be such an honor to meet you up there at the Chiller Theater.
Well, when we meet each other, all you have to say is WVLT.
You got it.
Or 92.1, whatever you want. Or cruising is better.
All right. Thank you so
we'll
much.
just say we're the cruising guys.
See you guys later.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye.
Thank you, Tony. Bye.
There he is, gang. Everybody, Mr. Tony Curtis.
Hey!
How long have you had this?
About 3 days.
It has been 400 years since its last reincarnation.
Any pain?
It kind of moves sometimes.
The soul of black magic is waiting to be reborn.
What's your diagnosis?
Pana, Vici, Salatu.
For years, man has turned his back on the supernatural.
I'd almost describe it
Some will deny it.
as a fetus.
Others will fear it.
On her neck?
One woman will give birth to it. The Manitou. Since the beginning of time, it has practiced the mysterious arts. Its day is near. Each hour it grows stronger. Soon it will come. The Manitou. Starring Tony Curtis on a supernatural journey into the world of avenging spirits. John! Michael Ansara.
What does a white man want with Indian magic?
A modern American Indian thrust into a savage struggle with unspeakable taboos. Susan Strasberg, living in a nightmare. Innocent people, tormented by terror. Threatened by the unknown. Trapped by an ancient horror. The Manitou. An evil that never dies. It just waits to be reborn. The Manitou.